Like, you
feels
want
that.
to know what I? Okay, so here's what I thought of.
Took the advice and lit the cigar, right?
Right, not finished lighting the cigar, but welcome to the review, the Mirror Music and Hip Hop Talks mashup. I'm Coop. This is Andrew. We are here today to review Supreme Clientele 2 from the illustrious GHOSTFACE Killer.
That's right.
Andrew, how are you?
I am worn the hell out, man. This is those of you who know me and know me from Mirror Music and whatever know that I'm a public school teacher, and this is the end of the first week of school, so I am worn out. But I felt like we probably should pull up and talk about Ghosts. Like after when you have a sequel like this on tap, we probably should have some words about it, right?
Yeah, I mean, you and I have a lot of stuff backlogged that we like to do. Of course, I'm happy and stressed and full today. My daughter moved into the dorm today. It's actually in the dorm right now, getting herself situated. It has been a full and a blessed day. I'm about to light up my victory cigar. I haven't had a cigar in a very long time. You'd be proud of me. I've cut back my cigar smoking drastically.
Yeah, I haven't seen you on here doing it much lately.
No, I haven't had a cigar in months, actually, Andrew. Like a cigar, I haven't had a cigar in months. It's been months.
We gotta keep you healthy, keep you around.
Yeah, so I've cut back on the cigar smoking in the cigar clubs and cigar bars and stuff. But we're here to talk about Ghost because it looks like Ghost has cut back on the cigars and the cigar bars too. Because
it does. His voice sounds way better than the last time I heard him.
Oh, his voice sounds stellar on this album. I don't know where quite to start. I do want to start by letting people know a few things, though. First of all, this show is about to be fun, and part of the reasons why we wanted to do this one, not only because it's Ghost and it's Supreme Clientele 2. Well, I'm somebody that's super familiar with Ghost, super big fan of Ghost, considers Ghost to be a top 10, sometimes top 5 MC, depending objectively on how you feel. We'll talk about that during the discourse of talking about this album, which I do consider to be a pretty dope album. But you're not as familiar, and I think that you're not as familiar, but musically inclined. And so, what we've done over the years with Mirror Music is kind of like toss each other into each other's world. But you've kind of been in my world for about 3-4 years now, and you're pretty well versed. And so I kind of want to do the review of this from the perspective of someone who is versed in hip hop now, but not as well versed, and somebody like me who's extremely well versed with this guy and super impressed by this album in a lot of facet. And I'm going to pull up his entire catalog in reference to it too. Andrew, did you have anything that you want to say before I continue? Because I can talk about.
No, I want to hear more about what you say.
Okay, so Ghost. This is solo album number 13. This is solo album 13. I think 9 collaborative projects. The 9 collaborative projects are not including any of the Wu-Tang material.
Right.
So we're talking about 22 albums, and then you go to Purple Tape 1, Purple Tape 2, Enter the Wu-Tang, the 5 Wu-Tang albums. You're talking to somebody that goes to spit as many verses as anybody who's ever lived in rap. Like he's up there with the Nas's and the Scarfaces and the J's in terms of just the sheer volume of material.
I want to comment on that real quick because I pulled up his discography as I was doing that, and I mean I knew about Supreme and Iron Man and Fishscale. Like I like those. Despite the fact that I'm not super familiar with the music, I'm familiar with the titles of those. Right? I mean you'd have to be living under a musical rock to not have heard those names of those albums.
Not a musical one, but a hip hop one for sure.
Yeah. So I recognize those names, but I looked down and this discography kept going and going and going. So there were a whole bunch of them on there in the last 10 or 15 years that I was not familiar with. So it's a lot deeper catalog than I thought it was. That's all I got. So carry on.
Well, he's stellar.
Mhm.
So not only is he up there with the Scarfaces and those guys in
Yeah.
terms of volume of catalog, but also in quality of catalog.
Mm.
When I was looking at the first half of his catalog, I was thinking the first half of his catalog is as good as any rapper's rap first half catalog.
Mhm.
As far as somebody that's to the point that he's at, and let's say when I'm saying first half, it's like if we're going by like those first 10 albums,
Mm.
like those
That's
first
that's
five.
that's a nuts that's a nutso sentence to be able to say the first half of your catalog is 10 albums. I just want to point that out. In any genre, in any whatever, like to say the first half of your catalog is 10 out. That's nuts.
Well, we shouldn't be surprised that he's here. One of the things that I want to notate is the fact that Ghost actually said when Iron Man was coming out, he did a music review in the Source, and he talked about how he was still gonna be here rhyming when he was like 50, 60 years old. And he was like, I'm gonna have like that old dart that's gonna be like that sharp dart that still hits you.
Mhm.
And the Supreme Clientele too is kind of like the manifestation of that come to life,
Mhm.
like in a sense,
Yeah.
because here he is like with these old darts, but these old darts are landing. But I mean, Andrew, he talked about him landing in '96, like when he did the
He
interview
called
for
the
the Source
shot.
about Iron Man. Yeah, he called his shot, and that's another thing that the greats do. It's like the greats kind of like they know what they're gonna do, and they know what they can do to you.
Yeah.
And so Ghost knew that he was great like how about this? Ghost isn't considered all time great until Supreme. That's why Supreme is so important.
That's
He's
the
really
third one.
second. Supreme is
Second.
the sophomore album. Iron Man
Okay.
is the solo album. It feels like he's been around so long. By the time Supreme comes out, you've been listening to Ghost for almost 7 years.
Yeah. Okay.
Or not almost. You have been listening to Ghost for 7 years. So Supreme feels like his third or fourth album because you've been listening to Ghost for so long.
Okay. Yeah. Messes up my time scale. Yeah.
Well, Ghost is the first person that you hear on Into the Wu-Tang.
Right.
Um, Ghost is all over the purple tape with Ray. And
Mhm.
then you have Iron Man. Ghost is the star on Wu-Tang Forever. Him and Meth and Deck are the stars on Wu-Tang Forever. That's 97,
Yep.
And so it feels like it feels like he's been there a whole lot more than he
Mhm.
had actually been there as a solo artist. As far as a solo artist, he just had Iron Man before Supreme.
Yeah.
And Supreme is one of the best rap albums ever. So following up an album like that is extremely difficult. I'm not a fan of long breaks between sequels. See Godfather 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just
So
talked
I'm not
about a sequel with Alfredo too on here on this show. So where
five
that
gap.
was not as
5 year gap,
long.
25-year gap.
Yeah,
5 year
25
gap.
years is a
25,
long time.
25 years is a long time to do. It just is. And so very much like the purple tape too, like only built for Cuban links too.
Mhm.
This album um it exceeds expectations if you're looking at it realistically from the time frame.
Mhm.
It's not realistic for it to be as satisfying as its predecessor. Supreme Clientele to me is a top 20 rap album all time.
Okay.
And so I don't think it's realistic for somebody year number like, I don't know, 37, 38, 39,
Right.
or something of rapping like at 53, 54, 50,
Mhm.
to be making their best stuff. But there's some pretty uh, impressive stuff on here. There are things that happen on this album that make it dope enough to be an album of the year contender. And Ghost is great enough on here to be an MC of the year contender. I still don't think he's ahead of Malice
No,
from
I don't
for
either.
Malice. No, I don't think it's that. But what this album does do, and if this is his last solo rap album that we hear, I think it's an appropriate closeout. And here's what makes it an appropriate closeout if it's the last solo rap album we get from him. He reminds you of all the things on this album that make him a top 10 MC of all time, clearly.
Okay. Which are what?
Okay, so Ghost is the best beat break rapper ever, not named KRS-One or Nas.
Hmm.
You know, like
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's like, oh no, there's a portion of this album, like that middle portion of the
Yeah,
album.
that was my favorite moment of the album, actually.
It's
The
the best
beat breaks
moment of
and
the album.
those two songs back to back. Like those were my favorite. That was honestly not one of my favorite. That was my favorite part of the album, personally.
That's because Ghost is one of the best beat break rappers ever. Like those were some of the shining moments. Because,
Yeah.
and this is what I mean.
The taking it back to Staten Island is what he was saying. Yeah.
It's a reminder of those things. It reminds me of like how he sounds on stuff like The Grain on Supreme and Nutmeg, like how he sounds over those really beat breaky types of tracks. Like
Hmm.
he's always kind of been that way though.
Hmm.
And so what he does on this album, he reminds you that no, 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 just as nice on those beat breaks as Nas and KRS, and that's the highest of praise.
Yeah. That's the peak.
Yeah, yeah, he's as good as it gets on a beat break, like of any
Mhm.
rapper that's ever lived. Like he's up there, like he's in that rare stratosphere. It's like no, 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 you just cut the beat break type of beat on, and like he can go stun on it. Like that's not so easy to do. That's actually one of those things that's almost like a dying craft now too. So he's
Mhm.
doing like a lot of Wu Tang Shaolin monk type stuff on here. Like
Mhm.
he's throwing darts and doing like a master of craftsmanship, like
Okay.
on like a Wu Tang monk class on like shit that you really don't even do anymore as a rapper. And in the process of him doing that, he shows you that he's one of the greatest rappers ever
Mhm. Okay.
because he does it with such ease and agility that you realize in these days times it's like, oh shit, Ghost's been doing this since I was a kid. This is Ghost. This is why Ghost's one of the best. It's like
Yeah.
you almost, it's easy. How about this? The like last what the last album? What's the last album? The
The
what
one
was
that
it
was like
called?
last year or earlier
Yeah,
this year. I don't remember
yeah.
what it's
Set the
called.
tone. Set the tone.
Yeah.
The Set the Tone album. Like sometimes you need an album like that that's so bad that when you come back and do the things that you do well,
He was like, "Oh yeah,
it
this is the guy." Yeah.
it's like yeah, like that guy from last year. That's not the guy. Guess what? This the guy.
Mhm.
This is Ghostface Killer. This is a rapper you should be afraid of. This rapper really will eat your favorite rapper's food. Your favorite rapper love this dude.
Yeah.
Your favorite rapper might be afraid of this dude depending on who your favorite rapper is. So he's like that on this album. He has enough moments on here where he reminds you of that guy. Is he that guy anymore? Like, well, no,
No.
nobody is.
Yeah, he's what, mid-50s, yeah? Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah. Here, let me throw this super chat in here real quick. Ill Magic with $5 super
We're
chat. Thank
live.
you, man. I
I
think
didn't even know
Ghost
we
is
were
probably
live.
one of
That's
the
crazy.
best albums of the year.
Yeah, I think it's an album of the year contender. I think how about this? When you get to a point in the year where you listen to a piece of music and in the process of listening to the piece of music you think about the other albums that you think are the album of the year, that is a way that I identify an album of the year
Mm.
contender. And so I immediately started thinking about Let God Sort 'Em Out and Alfredo 2 about halfway into this album, where I
Mhm.
was like, okay, now I'm going to have to go listen again to see how it measures up to those two. Because Let
Right.
God Sort 'Em Out still has the better sounding album. I think
Yeah,
in
I
terms
agree.
of like that big, like I said, that mainstream big sound, that modern day trap house that you can play at an art gallery still, I guess.
Mhm.
Alfredo has the best album feel and has the songs that I feel like have the most legs that are going to stand the test of time. I find this album to be somewhere in the middle of those two albums, where it
Mhm.
goes on a run where it has the album feel of an Alfredo too, but it has moments where it feels big, like Let God Sort 'Em Out. But tentatively, until I hear more, I'm going to have to put it at 3 for right now. But I
Mhm.
think that's an excellent job and job well done by Ghost. Um, this is another thing that Ghost does on this album that shows why he's one of the best of all time. Like Ghostface and Scarface have so many comparisons to me. It's funny they're both, both goes back to the face thing. Ghost and Scarface are the best beat pickers for their voice and for their style. Like there are some beats on
Mhm.
this album I'm like, well that's great for Ghost. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's great for Ghost because of what Ghost can do with his voice and how Ghost sounds on it. And Ghost knows that, so Ghost picks a beat like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that there is a greatness in that. Like some people have the voice to pick bigger and grander beats, like a
Mhm.
Biggie or a Rick
Yeah,
Ross.
you gotta have a voice to be able to do it, right? It's not gonna work
Right.
without it.
Well, that's what I mean about Ghostface and Scarface. Well, for their voice and for their style, they pick great beats, and so that makes them that kind of puts him in that same vein of a beat picker as a
Mhm.
Biggie and a Ross, because it's not about picking the biggest, grandest beat. It's about picking the beat that best fits your style.
Mhm.
And Ghost is as good as that as anybody too, and he reminds you that on this album too. I think he also separates himself from his Wu-Tang members with his agility is one of the things that I realized on this album. Like Ray's my favorite, but Ray's always looking for the next thing, the new flavor, the next shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And in the process of doing that, like sometimes the album wise, it doesn't like go as well because you're taking the chances and you know what I mean?
Right, sure, yeah.
Yeah, you're mixing. He's the chef. He's mixing fresh shit in the pot. He likes to cook from scratch.
Right.
Yeah. So he
And
wants
that
to,
requires you trying shit sometimes, right?
it requires you trying shit. Exactly. So Ghost tries shit, but Ghost has a soul bag.
Mhm.
Ghost has a beat break bag. And Ghost has a storytelling bag. Ray has a storytelling bag too, but Ghost storytelling bag is not more well put together per se,
Mm.
but you can just understand what the fuck is going on better if I don't know how else to explain.
Yeah.
Like Ray shit, you might have to like sit down and break down some of
And
how
parse
like
out
Ray
a little
pieced
bit, yeah.
the story together. Like the vernacular is so spectacular that you literally got to be like, hold on, did he say he was gonna do what the what? Where
Yeah.
Ghost like kind of will put you more in the moment of the story, the way Ice Cube, a Scarface, and Nas, a Slick Rick will, which is why they're all time great storytellers. You
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of that stuff on this album where he separates himself even from his Wu contemporaries with that. And even the beats that he picks for like the other artists, like the last track with Method Man, like I forget like what is it called?
Your
Um
friend, my something
yeah,
friend.
you're my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, you my friend.
Yeah.
Oh, that beat is perfect for Meth. Like when that beat
Yeah.
drops and I
The
look at the
Meth's verse on that
video,
was one of my favorite parts of the record too. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, but no, when I see this is what I mean about like Ghost being a great beat picker though.
Mhm.
Like a great beat picker isn't just great for you, he's great for his teammates too. And we're going to get to another thing that makes Ghost one of the greatest MCs of all time, which is his teamwork. That beat, even though Ghost picked it and Ghost liked it, Ghost heard it and knew that his Woo brother Meth sounded good on it.
Mhm.
That beat sounds good for Meth. You feel
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
And it's put together where Ghost still comes off, but these guys, I don't know how it works. I don't know why it works, but they set each other up for success so many times. And I'm like, man, Ghost, of all the all time great MCs, Ghost is the best teammate.
Okay.
And so let's run down like the all time great MCs, like Nas. It's like good teammate, not great teammate.
Mm.
Jay, not a great teammate. Scarface, not a great teammate. Ice Cube, not a great teammate. Okay.
They're the Michael Jordans, yeah. The
Yeah,
yeah.
they're
Mhm.
the I want
Yeah.
my team, bitch.
Yeah. And cut your head off on your own. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and when I mean like good teammate, not great teammate, even with Nas, I'm talking more about like the features and how many people he's put on
Yeah.
and kind of put in position to win and not sign them. Like I consider that to be good teammate stuff because he
Mhm.
knows that they're better off somewhere else than being signed to him. So Ghost. Ghost was the sixth man off the bench on Wu Tang Clan on Enter the Wu Tang though.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? On
yeah.
Enter the Wu Tang, there's Meth, there's Old Dirty Bastard, there's Ray, there's Jizza, there's Deck, then there's Ghost. Ghost is sixth man on Wu Tang Clan. And so part of what makes Ghost so all time great is that Ghost had to be a great teammate first. Ghost was a great teammate before he was a great solo player. He
And
really
it's
was.
hard to do to be a great six man and a great like headliner too. There's not many people. If we're using the basketball analogy, there's not many people who have been able to do both
How about this? How about
successfully.
this?
James Harden maybe, but like I mean,
No,
it's a
no,
short list.
no, I don't even. This is what I mean. Let's look at it differently. It's like morphing into totally different players, Andrew. It's like going from being Vinnie Johnson or Jamal
Right.
Crawford, and then you become um, Scottie Pippen or Dwayne Wade, and then after that, you become like Kevin Durant or Larry Bird.
Hmm.
That's what Ghost did with his career. He went from being Jamal Crawford and Vinnie Johnson. And when I mean that, I mean both of those guys are Hall of Fame caliber
Yes,
players.
they're bad motherfuckers right there. Yeah,
Those are some bad motherfuckers there not to be played with. They
no,
call them the
absolutely,
like I watched Vinnie
absolutely not.
Johnson. Like one of my earliest basketball memories is watching Vinnie Johnson score 15 straight points in about 2 minutes
Hmm.
on the
Oh yeah,
Hawks.
I remember that too. That's
Yeah, yeah, you
yeah.
bust your ass. Same thing with Jamal. We already know it is with Jamal.
Hmm.
206. Yeah. So imagine being that type of player and then morphing into a Scottie Pippen or Dwayne Wade, like Kevin McHale level type of like second best player on the team player. Like
Yeah.
imagine being that. Like he's Kevin McHale on the '86 Celtics.
Hmm.
He he's Dwayne Wade on the 2012 Heat. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Sure. Yeah.
He's Scottie Pippen on the '93 Bulls.
A second banana that could very well be the first anywhere else. Like, yeah, for sure.
And could be the first on a championship team, probably.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
then he goes from that to being the actual championship player. Like he goes from being 86 McHale to being 86 Bird.
Yeah.
He
The
goes
jump.
from being 2012 Wade to being 2012 LeBron.
Hmm.
Nobody's ever done that shit.
Hmm.
Nobody in the history of rap. Nobody's ever filled those roles successfully like that and
Yeah.
actually ascended to where he is. And so when I'm saying you hear all the things that make him great, no, you hear the teamwork that makes him great when he's picking beats that Meth sounds great over. You hear it on the trial, on the back and forth with Ray again. It's like, oh
Hmm.
God, their back and forth is still flawless after all these years. He's such a great fucking teammate.
Hmm.
He's a great teammate. He's a great storyteller. His voice is back intact. He's got a great voice. He, I don't. This album isn't the album of the year to me, but it did make me want want to think about my top 10 rapper list and want to put him higher on it. How about that?
I can get with that.
Like these 13 albums, I'm gonna list these albums out: Iron Man in '96, Supreme in 2000, Bulletproof is 2001, the Pretty Tony album's 2004, Fish Scales 2006. I think More Fish is 2006, Big Doe Rehab 2007, um,
That's 5 or 6 now. Yeah.
Ghost Dini 2009. Apollo Kids is 2010. Apollo Kids is dope. 36 Seasons is 2014. 36 Seasons is dope. Ghostface Killers is 2019. You got the setup, and now you got this. You'd have to go to the first half of the catalog to find something better than this, to be honest with you. Like you would have to go back. Like when I'm thinking about it, you're gonna have to go back to More Fish in the Big Doe Rehab and Fish Scale to
Okay.
find something comparable album wise to this. So this is his best album in about 20 years, Andrew. And
That's
so,
saying a lot.
well, how about this? There's a lot of the things that I've discoursed and dialogued about Nas over the course of the last 5 years in this podcast space, I could easily assign to Ghost after listening to this project. he does deserve some similar credence and and praise, quite frankly.
Mhm.
Like, this album is dope enough that he deserves that. It is hard to make an album this dope this late in the game. Like Metaphysics, when Metaphysics starts off, it says like Pete and Rosenberg,
Mhm.
late night 2004. And it's like, so I don't care that it's like 20 years old, because much like when I hear like West Savannah on Aquemini, it's like, well, I know it was supposed to be on Southern Playalistic, but god damn it, I'm hearing it on Aquemini and it still sounds good. So
And
I
it's
don't
good.
care.
It's still, yeah.
Yeah, good is still good. That goes back to what Black Rob's manager Wap used to tell me, which be like, nobody knows that that record is old except for you and your crew.
Yep.
Like, and usually most of the time, most of like how I feel when I heard that intro to Metaphysics, I was like, I don't give a shit when he made Metaphysics. I'm just happy that he dropped Metaphysics. It's the new Mighty Healthy. I don't care if it's on. I don't care if he recorded it 3 years after Mighty Healthy. That still makes it the new Mighty Healthy to me. I don't give a shit.
Mhm.
Thank you for dropping it. Job well done. This is also masterfully done, because this is the best project I think that he may have production wise, where RZA has nothing to do with it whatsoever.
Mhm. It definitely doesn't sound RZA-ish either to me. Like it's,
There's no RZA ish on here.
yeah. I mean, I know he's not literally on here, but it doesn't sound. None of it sounds like that either to me, anyway.
Well, I think that's because Ghost on this album got into his beat break and his soul bag, and those are his two best bags.
Mm.
You do have to understand, he is he is the only Wu member whose best album RZA really didn't do the beats on.
Mhm.
Like, Ray's best album is RZA's best beat tape. Jizz's best album is RZA's second best beat tape. Meth's best album is a pretty dope ass beat tape. Same thing with Return to the 36 by Dirty. RZA did everybody's best work except for Ghost. That's another thing that makes Ghost so great. Like, Ghost has a classic with RZA. Ghost has an all-time great classic without RZA. RZA's just the executive producer of Supreme. RZA only did 3 beats on Supreme, if memory
Okay.
serves. It might be 2.
Cool.
So
Well,
so so
let me slide the super chat in here right quick. Stefan Young, $2 super chat. What up? Hope everything is well. Yeah, we're holding it together, man. Holding it together.
what do you say?
I said we're holding it together. He said, "What up? Hope everything's well."
Yeah. We're doing good today. Andrew made it through the week. I got my daughter moved in. Ghost made a great album. God is good. Life is good. We mighty healthy over here.
Mighty healthy
What
indeed.
what are your impressions about this project? Tell me what your ear tells you.
This is to me, the second album in a row that we've talked about on this thing where we don't necessarily hear the same things.
Okay.
Um, it's I've listened to it through twice. Okay, so how many times have you heard it? I'm just trying to compare, like just once. Okay, like the first time I
Fully
heard it,
fully once, but I've heard certain records over and over at this
yeah. Well,
point.
the metaphysics thing has been out a while and like
Yeah, yeah.
so forth. But the first listen I heard, like I listened to the first half of it through the beat break songs, like the ones in the middle. And I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good. Like I dig this. And then this may be just exhaustion, and it may be like because I turned it off, put the kids to bed, then came back to it. And then the second half of it, I was kind of like, uh, not. I wasn't really feeling the second half of it. Now, the second time I played through it, um, it was better, but I still don't know that I would put it third for the year. But like, I fully accept that I am without all the context of the previous albums and stuff like that. I'm just telling you what I hear and what my ear was drawn to, right?
Yes, yes. I think for somebody like you, how about this? He raps over a lot of the stuff that I think Black Thought likes to rap over, just
Mhm.
about different content. And so I
Yeah.
think you're drawn in. I don't think you're totally drawn in on the content, because I think you like like even though you digest well,
Hmm.
I think you are mindful about what you digest.
Yeah, that is true.
It, and he is difficult to digest at times.
Mm.
Like he is an acquired taste. It's like he's not he's not the wine that you pull out of like your cellar for your friends who don't know wine and appreciate wine because they might not get the shit that they taste in when they sip him. And that's not to
Right,
say you
exactly.
have a refined palate.
Like again, I'm coming to this as an ignorant.
No,
Ignorant's
this
not the
is
right word, but
like
without the proper context, right?
how about this? It's like if you still drinking Kendall Jackson Chardonnay, I'm not opening up my bottle of Monterey with you.
Mm, right.
You feel what I'm
You got
saying?
to save that for somebody who appreciates it, and
Yeah,
I'm the
yeah,
what is it
yeah.
called?
But what I'm saying is that that's something that you have to be familiar with and acquainted with in that culture to maybe appreciate what it truly is.
Hmm.
And so I think some of your acquaintance, that's why I'm asking like your musical take, because when you said you didn't like the second half, I was thinking, oh shit, my problem's the first half.
Yeah. Says this is the reason that we have these conversations, and this is and for those of you who haven't gone back and watched the like the early Mirror Music episodes, which is like late 2021 ish kind of times, um, we neither of us knew that much about like Coop. I mean, Coop knew some about rock and roll music, and he's learned a lot more since then. And same with me for hip hop music. I knew a little bit, but not nearly as much as I know now. And at that point, we didn't really have the frame of reference to disagree with stuff, right? Because we didn't know about the other stuff well enough to really have, or I didn't know anyway, well enough to have strong opinions about it. And it's interesting now that we're both more well versed in stuff that we're disagreeing more or feel more strongly about what we hear, or I do
I think,
anyway.
I think, I think what has happened to both of us is that we've taught each other so much that we've got more identifiable musical boundaries about when we step into each other's worlds now.
Yeah.
Because like now, I think before you just picked up the rap shit that you like, and now it's just gotten more particular. It's because the same things happen to me. It's like somebody might be like, "Oh, well, what's that?" It's like, "Oh, no, 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 that stuff's good," but that's really not what I listen to when I listen to that
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly. Like it's not, like it's not something this album would fall in the category for me of something that I listen to that I appreciate the craft that I like say, oh yeah, he did what he was trying to do, but it's not necessarily something that I'm going to pick up again. Right? Like that's kind of
So
where I am with it.
okay, no, no, no. So I dig that, and that's what. Okay, so somebody like you saying that
Hmm.
is what kind of separate maybe a Tupac and a Big and a Jay and a Nas from Ghost, because you don't say that about them, and that's what I mean. Their stuff is easier to digest. I don't
Hmm.
mean musically. I mean definitely like vernacular
Right.
wise. I'm delivery wise.
Hmm.
Easier for somebody like you to digest where the world that they're putting you in is a little bit more clear, like like listen to a great Ghostface album. It's like it's like you should literally do mushrooms with Alice in Wonderland and then like jump down the rabbit hole. Like that's what a
Okay.
great album
I
is
see
like.
what you're saying. Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So
It's
it's
also
not.
probably the reason I like JID's album better than Freddie's. I mean, it's the same for many of the
Yeah.
same reasons, right?
It's
Yeah.
yes, for some of the similar reasons. It's like, well, well, that's not really your vibe. You really don't like stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
that's not who you are as a person. That's not what you are geared towards. Like
Yeah.
typically musically, and so part of why I wanted to do this with you is that I wanted to see how much musically you appreciated Ghost because I didn't think this was going to be your thing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to see what your musical appreciation for Ghost actually looks like because I listen to this album. I say Ghost is one of the most like, even if he's not a top five MC, he's definitely top 10 in my opinion.
Mhm.
This album solidifies that for me. As far as the completeness of an MC, I put him in top five. Like he's complete as an MC that you could ask for. I think the only thing Ghost really doesn't have is super big hit solo records that the other guys that get
Right.
like put against him have, but he has everything else. Rhodes Art, and shout out to Rhodes Art. Rhodes Art produced The Trial, the Ray and Ghost back and forth with
Okay,
Method
cool.
Man. When I was interviewing Rhodes Art, I was talking to him about it. It's like, oh, you like that cinematic shit. Well, this is the most cinematic and best Wu
Yeah.
Tang posse cut in the minute. That's another thing about Ghost. Ghost gets the best Wu Tang posse cuts. Supreme
Hmm.
Clientele's got Wu Banger 101 and Buck 50. Fish Scale's got 9 Millie Brothers. These are the best post Wu Tang Prime albums, like Wu Tang tracks. He always does it for some reason.
Hmm.
That's one of those separating moments where it's like, well, they do Wu Tang tracks, but when the Wu Tang tracks on Ghost album, it just hits different.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
different when
that's definitely a cinematic song. Um, like, and like I didn't remember. I remember talking to Rosart about that song now, but I didn't remember listening to this album that was that song. Does that make sense? Like I
yeah,
know it now. It feels.
it's
And
fly.
I don't. I get the impression that saying something sounds like Hamilton is not a positive thing in this world necessarily, but it had that feel to maybe. I mean, Lin Manuel Miranda and those guys that were composing those songs for that musical were also Wu-Tang fans, so they're probably pulling from that to
Right, right,
create that
right.
style. But um, that's my frame of reference point. So that's what it reminded me of.
Okay, so I understand. I get what you're saying when when you say that, but like this is what I mean from the perspective of, how about this? A record like The Trial,
Hmm.
I don't think you're gonna get that on a Ray joint or a Meth joint.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
might get it on a Jizza joint, but if you get it on a Jizza joint, it's not going to be as well executed. And here's the fact that he actually brought out the Jizza. I don't remember the last time I heard the Jizza rap. People that actually know me, it's like when the Jizza was actually rapping, he was my favorite one.
Hmm.
But then he
Yeah, I
just like
remember.
stopped rapping.
I've heard you say that a dozen times. Yeah.
Well, he just stopped rapping regularly one day.
Yeah.
That's how Ray became my favorite over time. Because for me, Jizza and Ray were always my favorites. But then like
Hmm.
Jizza just like stopped rapping. So anytime like you get a verse out of Jizza, I'm like, well, once again, how about this? Most of the best Wu Posse cuts,
Hmm.
Jizza. Enter the
True.
Wu Tang. Part of why Enter the Wu Tang is so proficient, so glorious.
Mm.
Jizza's on there. Jizza's got one of the two solo records. There's Method Man, there's Clan in the front, but the Jizza's all over Enter the Wu Tang. Jizza has the best verse on the album on Protect Your Neck. That might be the best verse of the year.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jizza is a key component to like this Wu Tang thing working, and Ghost knows how to tap into it and actually get a verse out of him. I don't remember the last time I even heard the Jizza rap a new verse. I'm not joking.
Wow.
I'm not joking. I don't remember the last time the Jizza dropped a verse that like I don't
Hmm.
remember. Somebody in the chat's gonna have to remind me. I didn't even
Yeah.
know we were live. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I didn't even know we were live. So
Oh,
this is
we were not supposed to be live. My bad, dog.
no,
Sorry.
that's cool. I'm cool
Yeah.
with it. Like we can, like, hey, we can always fly to friendly skies.
Yeah. We got
Always fly.
this. I mean, we've done this for a long time now. So it's
Right. So yeah, Ghost is one of the best MCs ever. This album's good. It's much like the Purple Tape too, in the sense that it's like it's a dope level. It's not that level of this of
right.
its predecessor, but it's really good. Um, what other things do you have to contribute that you
What
like?
I'm curious about, because again, I'm without that context.
Oh,
You've talked a little bit about how it compares to the original, and so that's not as good as the original, obviously. But I don't think
oh, oh,
anybody expected it to be.
oh no,
Um, but it's
yeah,
not like
realistically.
it's not like an embarrassment either, right? Like it's not like why did you call it that?
How about this?
You?
That's like asking '98 Jordan to go score 37 points a game like '87 Jordan. It's like, oh, he can do a lot of stuff. He can win you the championship, but he ain't going about to go score 37 points a
Hmm.
game.
Yeah.
He's not doing that. It's like, hey, Wilt, I know that your knees are kind of like buckled down and you can't jump like you used to, but will you go get us 50 points and 25 rebounds again? No,
Yeah. Okay.
no,
But you're not
yeah.
going to go out there and embarrass yourself, though. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, that's what I'm saying. But it's like, no, no, no. Wilt couldn't get you 50 and 25 anymore, but he could go lead the league in assists.
Mm.
Right. He could go get you 15 rebounds instead of 23. You know what I'm saying? He could
Yeah,
go get you 27 points instead of 40 or 50 points.
yeah.
And then he give you 13 assists. You like, so you start doing different stuff, you
Right, sure,
know?
of course. Does it have any sonically similar moments? Does it sound the same in a lot of places? Like, do
So
the
so
beat
okay,
styles it doesn't really seem
metaphysics.
to me to sound the same, but
No, metaphysics is the track that sounds most like Supreme Clientele, but then
okay,
you hear the intro and you realize, well, it's the track recorded close to Supreme Clientele,
right.
probably most likely, and so that would make a sense for the sound. But that's also a good thing too, because that lets you know that some of what Ghost did in that era was timeless. Because
Mhm.
his best stuff to me is from '96 to 2007. So if
Yeah.
this record is coming out in 2004, this is right in the middle of his peak, in my opinion.
Mhm.
And so you're hearing him at his peak, and that guy at his peak, I don't know if he cracks your top five, like just like
Right.
because of the guys who are ahead of him. Like it's gonna be hard to
It's
put
the
him.
hit making thing for me, which is what you just said. Like, it's
Oh, it's absolutely that. It's the clarity thing too. Like
mhm.
like not just the hit making thing.
The
How
2
about
things
this?
go together, though, because the hits often are the ones that are like, those 2
Ooh,
things are part of
how
the
about
same
this? I
token.
consider All That I Got Is You by Ghostface on Iron Man with Mary J. Blige
Mhm.
might be his biggest solo record, but that record is very comparable in style, scope, and in its scale to Tupac's So Many Tears.
Right.
And as much as Tupac So Many Tears is arguably my favorite Tupac record just in a vacuum, on a scale of what his hits are, it
It's
doesn't even make the top 10, maybe even 15.
right.
And
Exactly. And
so,
that's my point. Like, the white person version of that is, like, I could have named 25 Tupac songs before this, and I couldn't
and,
have named one
and,
single
and
one
no,
before getting into this more, right?
and there is a part of it too where I start to realize, okay, I love Ghost and Ray vocally, both,
Mhm.
but I don't know if either one of them. First of all, I think Ray's voice is still better than Ghost's voice,
Okay.
and
I
Ray
have no
might have
opinion
a
about
top
that,
10
but
voice, and Ray might have a top 10 voice, but if he does, I'll probably put it on the back end of my top 10.
mm,
Ghost doesn't have a top 10 voice, in my opinion. And so him and Jay are the only dudes in my top 10 that don't have a top. And I guess if I would put Kendrick in now, those three
mm,
guys don't have a top 10 rap voice, but they do special effects with their voices that's really dope
yeah. Yeah.
because they don't have an inherent great rap voice in a lot of
So they're
ways.
doing other things with it, yeah.
But they're doing other things. But of those three, Ghost has the best rap voice of those three
Mhm.
guys. And I don't know if there's enough of those moments on here where you
Yeah.
really hear that from him vocally like you used to. So even though he's back, I think he has lost. How about this? It's you know, Greg Maddox for most of his career could always throw about like 93, 94,
Yeah.
92 if he needed to. But
Yeah.
he got to a point where he really couldn't throw past 90, 91, 92. He could still strike you out with it. But them days
And
of him throwing 93, 94, 95,
you slip it in there every once in a while instead of
yeah, he could
doing it
get you
consistently,
every
yeah.
blue moon, but and so that's what it is. It's
So
like
in
Ghost.
Chicago, I was those of you who know me know I've been a Cubs fan since I was like 5 years old. So I watched him play in Chicago too, and he was slipping 95 in there every once in a while. Like he had that gear. He just
Chicago
didn't.
Cubs. Chicago Cubs. Greg Maddox that won his first of four Cy Youngs when he went 20-5 was
Yeah,
consistently 94, 95 when he
yeah,
felt like
yeah,
right. So like when that guy doesn't exist in 1998 though, but that
mhm,
guy in 1998 can still win you 15 to 20 games
yeah.
with a 90-91 mile per hour fastball. So he's more like 96 to 2000 Greg Maddox on this. It's like no,
Yeah.
he's best ever.
He can still get you though, right?
Probably not the best ever, but pretty high. Well, I don't know. Maddox might be the best ever.
It's
He's in the conversation.
I could make that argument.
I take Pedro's peak is the best to me, but like
If we're talking about peak, yeah, absolutely. Like
yeah, Pedro's the man at his peak. But but he's in that conversation. He's a Maddox.
Yeah, it's not a stupid thing to say.
He's a Randy Johnson. It's like, oh no, he's like, that's who Ghost is. He's in that wheelhouse of like those all time greats. And this album serves as a reminder to that. I do not love the Redman intro to start the album.
Mm.
You have literally so many Wu-Tang Clan members to pick from. One of the things that I thought about when I heard the intro to this, it's like, man, it would have been nice to hear something that they had in the archives from Old Dirty Bastard,
Yeah, that would
even
have
if
been
it's
great.
something that we had heard before. Okay, so RZA didn't do any tracks or beats on this album, or didn't executive produce anything. Have RZA do the intro.
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't RZA doing the intro to Supreme Clientele 2? Because Supreme Clientele 1 starts off after the intro with Nutmeg with him and RZA.
Yeah, that would make sense. That'd be a full circle moment, right?
Right. So the same way that I kind of knocked Let God Sort Them Out for some of what I thought were like, a couple of missteps, even though the records were there. These are the things that I'm listening to. The skits on here are good. I don't know how meaningful they are. There's
Yeah.
a difference between good and meaningful when you're putting an album together. So the skits are good, but I don't know if they're meaningful.
The pause one made me laugh both times I heard it. Like that was like
Okay, so the pause thing, this is what I mean. It's funny.
yeah, but no, it's not a culturally significant thing, obviously, but I laughed though.
No, how is it? Okay, so this is what I mean about the Paul skit. How is the Paul skit helping Supreme Clientele 2 become Album of the Year? That's how I look at it from somebody that reviews the album. It's like, no, I get it. It's funny. Are you sure it fits for what you're doing on? Because I don't know if that fits.
Hmm.
It's funny. Just because it's funny doesn't mean that it fits. Like, you don't have to put that skit in just to make sure you put Dave at the end of the album, too, to try to kind of connect it. I'm not sure how
Right.
connected it is. I'm not sure how connected it is. But maybe I need to listen some more.
Yeah.
I didn't love the
Like,
sequencing at the beginning. I didn't love the songs or the sequencing at the beginning of the album. Much like Let God Sort Them Out. It's like, no, them first few records, like, it got some stuff on there and it's dope, but I don't feel like the album takes flight until like track number 6 or 7.
Yeah. This is an interesting, like, two circles overlapping because I like the first half of it and through 11, 12-ish. And I don't dislike the end of it, but it's the
So,
first couple times I listened to it, they didn't land the same way, for sure.
so I'm taking the skits out. So this is what I'm saying. So the first couple of records are dope to me. The intro and the record with MOP are dope.
Yeah,
But
I
then
agree.
after that, yeah. But then after that, I feel like the album falls into a pattern where Ghost is carrying the album with his greatness. That doesn't make the album great. And then the album kind of
Explain to me the
taps
difference
back in.
between those two things, please. I don't want to interrupt you, but I want to understand what you mean, please.
Okay, so you want to know what? Can you pull up like do you have the trick listing in front of you?
I can, yeah. Yeah, what's up? I got it. You want me to
Okay,
put
so
it up on the screen or like?
what's the first two records?
I mean, after the intro, Iron
First
Man
of all,
and
first of all,
Sample
scratch that.
420.
Yeah, sample 420. So it's like,
That's the
okay,
MOP song.
yes, that's the MOP song. So the intro is really really dope. I don't know if you follow it up with the MOP record. What's the record after it?
That's the Curtis May one. That's the one with Styles P and Conway on it.
Okay, so this is what I mean. You're Ghostface, Wu-Tang.
Mm-hmm.
We're on track 4. We have a Redman intro.
I see where you're going with that. Yeah. Okay.
Right. This is what I mean. We talking about the album. We're not talking about the records. We talking about an album being put together. So you're Ghost from the Wu-Tang Clan, and you're starting off this album with the Redman intro, and then you do the Iron Man joint. The Iron Man joint is fire.
Yeah, I love that song. Yeah.
Here's the problem with the Iron Man joint. It's kind of like when you're great, you're a victim of your own past. Oh well, this ain't no. I hate to say it like this. This isn't Iron Maiden off of Iron Man. This isn't
Yeah,
Shaky Dog off of
that's the
Fendale.
problem you're going to get in this kind of context,
Yeah,
right? People
this,
are who would know the catalog really well are comparing it
yeah,
to,
yeah, but it's dope. But this is what I mean. That dope Iron Man track
mm-hmm.
is shrouded around a Redman intro, a Styles P featured song. You know, it doesn't feel Wu Tangish. It doesn't feel Supreme Clientele 2-ish.
Yeah, it doesn't have a Wu-Tang feel at all, like this album doesn't to
This
me.
Supreme Clientele too, though. That's what I'm saying. This is the sequel to one of the jewels in the Wu-Tang crown. The Purple Tape 2 starts off on some Wu-Tang shit.
Yeah.
House of Flying Daggers with
That was
Ghost, Ray, Deck, and Meth. House of Flying Daggers. And
yeah.
then this is what I mean. Ray sticks to the theme of the Purple Tape 2. It's like, no, the Purple Tape 2 got like Pyrex vision at the beginning of it, where Ray is literally mumbling. Ray is literally mumbling over a track about cooking crack. The beat has water boiling in the background. He's on message. He's on topic. He's on theme. He's in line. Supreme 2 does not start off on line and in theme and on message. It doesn't matter if the records are dope. That's what I'm saying. So it's like you can have some dope records. You got to put it together. You're Ghostface Killer. You're one of our greatest storytellers. You're one of our greatest MCs. You're one of our greatest album makers. Supreme Clientele is one of rap's finest moments. Like, how about this? Supreme Clientele is Picasso's blue period in the art world.
Mm-hmm. That's big time.
Yeah. Supreme Clientele is Picasso's blue period as far as art goes. It's big time, big time. It's not just a regular piece of work. It's like it is what the album says it is. It's Supreme Clientele.
Mm-hmm.
Like the album is like that. The rapping on there is as good as the rapping gets. The beats on there he's special.
Right.
So the standards are different. And so Supreme Clientele 2 is good. It's not great. It's good enough to be like, I think, firmly positioned right now as the third best album of the year. I'd have to listen to Jay. It makes me want to go listen to everything else that I think is great around it. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go listen to the Clips album in full again.
And that's a good place for it to be, right? Like, yeah.
That's that. I think for somebody who I first heard rap, in 1993, and we're now in 2025. The fact that we're talking about
30-something years, yeah.
The fact that he's makes something that's even worthy of having this sort of dialogue and discord, I think is pretty important and special unto itself. But I am going to nitpick about that front half with the Styles and the MOP and the Redman, and it's like, not being funny, it's like, where the fuck is the Wu-Tang?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to hear like the first Wu-Tang joint be like track 12, and I've already heard Redman, MOP, and Styles. It's like, no, that's not Supreme Clientele. As a matter of fact, on Supreme Clientele 1, the only person that's not Wu-Tang affiliated, like on the rapping side of shit, is Redman on Buck 50, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
Everybody else is part of Wu or part of Theodore Unit, which was Ghost Crew.
Mm. Okay.
And Wu-Tang kind of, and this is what I mean about maybe being a victim of your own history with it. For us growing up on Wu-Tang, part of what made Wu-Tang so special is they didn't just let everybody in the party.
Right. It was very exclusive.
Nas and Redman were the only two people to make Wu-Tang albums in the first 10 years of this group's existence.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Listen to those two names.
Albums.
Mm-hmm.
No, not just the Wu-Tang albums. All the albums.
Mm-hmm.
All the albums. For 10 years. For 10 years, if there was a Wu-Tang project, Nas made a project, which was the Purple Tape. Redman made a project, which was the W with Red Bull. And so did Snoop. I guess the W would be when they kind of broke it. That's 2001. So Snoop and Redman are on the W. Is there anybody else on the W? Yeah, as far as rappers. So, yeah, so you got pretty much from when Protect Your Neck comes out, which is like 92 to 2001. Only people you hear rapping on Wu-Tang albums is Redman on Supreme and Red Bull. Snoop on Conditioner on the W. Redman on Red Bull. Redman on Buck 50. Nas is on the W2 on Let My Niggas Live.
Right.
Nas is on Verbal Intercourse, of course.
Right.
That's the extent of verses if you got on some Wu-Tang shit for the first 10 years.
That's a short list.
So no, I don't want to hear no Wu-Tang rap album ever start off like it don't matter. I love Style. Style sounds great on that record.
Yeah, he does. He does.
I
He
don't
does.
care. I don't care. I don't care. That's track 10.
Yeah.
That's what I mean about the sequencing. It's like, no, that's track 10 and the trial is track 5. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And so
I'm curious, from what you've said, you think this is better than Ray's album, than Emperor's New Clothes?
I don't know if the beat selection is better. I think this is one of those albums where,
if you're saying it's 3, then it's better, right? Like, I'm not.
Yeah, it's better because Ghost is better, I think.
Okay.
At making an album. Like, I still prefer to hear Ray rap. Ray may have the better selection. Yeah, like I still prefer to hear Ray rap. But an album, this is what I mean back to the Alfredo 2 thing. We're talking about the album. We're reviewing the album. We're not reviewing the artist. We're not reviewing the songs. We're reviewing the album.
Yeah.
Ghost is one of rap's best album makers, and you see it. Like you see it. It's different than everybody does it differently. Everybody's craft is different. The medium that everybody operates in is different. But the guys that are great album makers, you see it when they make an album. Like, you can feel the difference between them and their contemporaries. You can feel it when Freddie make an album. You can feel it when Ghost make an album. You can. It's different. It's different when Ross make an album. It's different when Nas make an album. It's different when Jay make an album. They make their albums different. Kendrick. Their albums are different. Their albums are better consistently. They're special at it. They're great album makers. We're reviewing the album. We're not reviewing like we can talk about all the things that make the artist, and we can talk about their all-time great playlists. I can talk about Wu-Tang. We can talk about all this stuff, but the album.
It's also, we have to kind of think about it too as just this album too. I mean, we do need to put it in context with the others too, especially for one that's titled as a sequel, right? I mean, we have to do that part. That's part of the deal. But we also have to think of it as a independent piece of art, not like what Ghost was or what Ray was, or like 20 years ago or whatever. But we have to talk about it what he is now.
So most of the people are going to give it a 3.5 because of what Supreme Clientele 1 is, but it's really a 4 in real time.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a 4 in real time.
The hilarious part, and I have a couple other things I want to ask you too, but is that we both, what we said about it is pretty different, honestly, like how it landed with us. But the ratings that we're talking about giving it are virtually identical. Like, I think it's probably about in that 4-ish range to maybe high 3, but probably around 4-ish range. I think also, this is a little bit of a sidebar, but I think the streaming world has fucked up album making in a lot of ways, because you're not just Ghost, all artists are putting respectfully more songs than they need on the albums to pump up streaming. Like, and I understand why they do it. Like, I get that's the game. I get how that works. But it's one of my gut reactions to seeing new albums, new track lists, new whatever, is that if it's a double album length, which in my brain is over 20 tracks, then it better be really good. There are very, very few albums in the history of music, to me, that clock in over 20 songs that should have over 20 songs. It's a short list. So,
you know what's crazy? Yeah. So this is what I mean about Supreme Clientele being a truly special moment. This album has more tracks than Supreme Clientele, but it's actually shorter than Supreme Clientele.
Right. It's only like 45 minutes, 48, I think.
Yeah. 48. I think Supreme Clientele is like an hour and 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's an hour and 7 minutes of like sheer brilliance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Of like sheer, unadulterated, like panoramic view. Like I said, mushrooms down the rabbit hole, Alice.
Yeah. One of the funniest things, this is a little bit of a sidebar here too, but like one of my new really interesting albums that I've been listening to in the past week is by a band I'd never heard of that my friend at school told me about, called his name's Ryan Davis and the Roadhouse Band or some shit like that. I don't remember exactly what they call it, but the album is 7 songs and 57 minutes. And so it is. I debated proposing to you at some point doing a series of or to add to our review slate. Um, these are albums that I really like or you really like that you think the other person's going to hate, because I don't think you would like it at all. But
No, as soon as you said that, I said, hell no. As soon as you
exactly,
said,
I know you would. I know you would not like it.
nope,
But
not at
but
all. I'm like, the
but
beat just dropped. The song's over. I hate this album. Next.
exactly, and that's kind of the point, right? And one of the things that's going to make this review show great, I think, is that we do have differing opinions on things, right? Like, and not that we're arguing about it necessarily, but like that we do have contrasting taste.
No, I think we've always had contrasting tastes. I
Yeah,
think that's kind of like, I think that is some of like what our friendship is actually built on
yeah,
too, is that we've had dialogue and discord. How about this? You and I, we actually have opposing thoughts about almost everything. It's like, so think about this. We've been talking music just as long as we've been talking tennis. You and I
yeah.
have been talking tennis since Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal were in their
Since we were in
prime.
high school, yeah, which was before
We
that,
were
but yeah,
you were you were always a fan of Federer's game. I was
yep,
always a fan of Nadal's game.
hmm
It was
yeah,
all, you can think about the hour-long text message conversations we had about their games and why
yeah.
we loved their games.
Hours,
So,
plural, yes,
hours,
yeah,
hours. We spent hours just talking about those two guys' games over a course of like days while they were
mhm,
playing in tournaments. Like they
yep,
would be whooping guys' ass, and I'd be like, "You see why I love this guy? Did you see what he just did? Did you see that forehand?" And
yeah, yeah,
and so we've actually had like diametrically opposed views about
mhm.
everything. We've just always been able to dialogue and discourse about it very, very well.
We need to do an unwrapped episode on that and how that works too at some point.
Yeah, no, 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 no. That's one of the things that I have tapped into unwrapped is how our relationship specifically has worked as a white man from your environment and a black man in my environment, and how we've always had the ability to meet in the middle without talking about meeting in the middle.
Yeah.
You and me never had a conversation about meeting in the middle about shit, have we?
Nope, not once. Like,
Never.
even in this review right here, we did not talk one word about this album before we came on air. Like, we
No,
didn't say
like
other than say this is what we were doing, right? Like, and it continues to be hilarious to me that you think this is one of the best 3 albums of the year, and I think it's respectfully not probably in my top 10, but
right.
like we come to the kind of the same place of the ratings of it too, right? Like, so it's fascinating to see that we're coming at it from opposite directions, but we kind of end up in the same place. That's what
Well,
happens on the Mirror Music
well,
episodes all the time too.
well, also too, some of the discord that we've been having personally. Well, quite frankly, you're more impressed with this rap year than I am,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
so
because
you
I don't
have.
I listen am more impressed with the non-mainstream stuff than you are, right?
It's not that
Like,
I'm not impressed with it. It's that like
it's more my style, I guess.
not even more your style. I always had this thing, and I used to say this to Mike when we did According to Hip Hop.
Hmm.
I'm not here to trash an album.
Right.
I want to review albums and give people their flowers and be honest about it,
Yeah.
but give them a good rating.
Yeah, that's
And
what I wanna
so
do too. I'm not trying to get on here and be like, "This album's trash." No, I don't wanna do that.
there are some artists that are big enough that you just gonna come up here, you just gonna get this rating and take this rating. But about
Yeah,
everybody else, I'm mindful. Like Ghost, you just gonna get this rating. You're Ghost.
yeah,
Kendrick, you're gonna get this rating. Clips, you're gonna get this rating.
right. We
Like
we
some
gotta have
guys.
that conversation, yeah.
Yeah,
It's part
some
of the
guys, it don't matter who you are. Oh no, about who you are, about who you say you are, about people who you say you are, about who your fans say you are. You
mhm,
just gonna take this rating. But about some of the guys that you've liked this year, well, part of the reason why I haven't said much is because I know how critical I can be, and I don't want to say anything that hurts
right,
their shit. So if I feel like it's somewhere between like a 3.25, or a 3.5, I'm
mhm,
probably less likely to review it because I
right,
don't want to to refrain badly on them. And that's not to say that like I'm special or I'm doing anything special.
No, you still
That's
don't. You have a platform, and we have a platform, and we don't use it to harm
but that's
people's
yeah,
careers. That's not
like the main
because
reason
a
I'm
lot of the indie stuff that I talk about on like the personal on a personal level, like that's stuff that I really like. Like I'm not going to like go out of my way to find indie albums and be like this sucks. Like I'm not going to do that. So, but if I find something that I really like, I'm going to talk about it.
like okay, so I think the Purple Tape 2, which came out in 2010, is the best Wu-Tang album since Supreme.
Okay,
So Supreme came out in 2000.
I was going to say 2000. I think, yeah.
Purple Tape 2 came out in 2010. Rap had totally changed by then.
Mm-hmm.
But Ray created a formula on the Purple Tape 2 that upgraded his formula, like I always talk about the intro to the
Sure.
Gangstar album, The Truth, without it feeling compromised. So that's what I mean is like the Schoolboy Q track on here is fire.
Mm.
It's not Broken Safety with Jada Kiss and Styles P though, because Ray kept them in his Purple Tape 2 chamber.
Right.
You know,
And that's the thing that which is good for us to have two different people reviewing this because I can only talk about what I hear. I don't have the previous context in the same
yeah,
way that you do. So I
yeah.
I have to talk about just what I hear in this moment right now. So I'm not hearing what I hear in this moment and at the same time comparing it to something that
So so
I heard
so so
15
so
years
so
ago.
so here's why I'm bringing up Ray. I'm not bringing up Ray because like it's the Ray and Ghost thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bringing up Ray because, well, for most people, the two best Wu solo albums belong to Ray and Ghost, and that's Only Built for Cuban Links and Supreme Clientele.
Right.
I prefer Liquid Swords to Supreme Clientele, not by a lot, by a very, very little.
Yeah.
Actually, Ghost's rap performances on Liquid Swords have something to do with why I hold Liquid Swords higher than Supreme. That's another conversation for another day because he's on Fourth Chamber and Investigative Reports, and I consider those to be his real coming out parties as an MC.
Yeah.
Not the Purple Tape. I consider his verses on Liquid Swords to be the coming out party. But because most people hold Supreme to be the solo album closest to the Purple Tape,
Right.
and because career wise, Ghost has actually superseded Ray and considered to be the superior MC all time, even by me objectively, even though I prefer Ray, well, it's only fair that we look at Only Built for Cuban Links 2 in relationship to Supreme Clientele 2, because if
Right.
Supreme Clientele 1 is the closest
That's
thing
the
to Only
standard,
Built
right?
for Cuban Links 1, yeah, we have a standard and an approximation to work off of.
Right.
And the approximation of Only Built for Cuban Links 2 is closer to the approximation of its predecessor than Supreme Clientele 2. And that's probably the biggest and toughest critique I could have for it, because this is more of a 4 to
Mm-hmm.
me. It could turn into a 4.25 if I listen to it a couple more times, and I'm going to do that, of
Yeah,
course.
I'll be interested to see what it does to me too, because it's already better the second time I listen to it than the first time I listened to it. So
I,
it may
some
just
of the
be one
joints,
that grows.
like I said, I haven't been all the way the second time around yet, but some of the stuff that I listened to the first time, I did find myself enjoying it more the second time.
Yeah.
But this is the thing with the Purple Tape too. Oh no, there's some phenomenal stuff out the gate. It's like, oh no, House of Flying Daggers,
There's things that you recognize are great
jump,
immediately.
jumps. Yeah, the new Wu joint with Meth and Ghost jump out you on. Oh, good lord, 10 Bricks with Dilla on the beat with Ghost and Kappa is some crack music.
Let me ask you this question, not to interrupt too much, but like let me ask you this question: are there going to be songs or moments on Supreme 2 that you're going to be talking about 10 or 15 years from now, like you're talking about Purple Tape 2
No,
now?
no, I don't think so. It's a
I
really
don't think
good
so either.
album. It's a really good album. There's no 10 Bricks on here. There's no 10 Bricks or House of Flying Daggers or New Woo on here. There's no Broken Safety on here. Ason Jones, the Ode to ODB on the Purple Tape too.
Yeah.
That's no, there's that stuff is not on here.
Mm.
And so, like the Purple Tape 2 might have been the best rap album that year. think it might have it as the best. Hold on, what's 2010? 2010. Yeah, that might be my favorite rap album that year. I left work to go pick up the Blueprint 3 and the Purple Tape 2 when I
Mhm.
realized it was out. Like I literally looked at my boss. I was like,
I'm
so
gonna
yeah,
go do it.
so I'm leaving for 30 minutes, and you're gonna have to work this shit out. I don't care if you find me. Peace, nigga. Like
I'll be right
I did the Dave Chappelle shit with keeping it real goes wrong. It's like I'm going to
Yeah.
buy this rap shit, nigga. I'll be back. Fuck you.
This Dave Chappelle full circle moment right here. What's your favorite moment on this album, like, right now? Like, what jumped out at you the first time through?
Oh, the trial. The rain goes back and forth is always the thing. And see, hold on. The rain goes back and forth
Mm.
is always like a movie. They
Yeah.
actually did it like a movie this time.
Yep.
What if this is the last rain goes back and
That's
forth we
that's some
get?
that's some, like,
Actually
Law& and
did.
Order shit they got going on right there.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's beautiful. It's got Meth, the Jizza Ray, and oh, it's phenomenal. I think it's my early thoughts are it's the best track of the album, but I always feel that way about the Ray and Ghost track.
Yep.
Typically, off initial onset, the trial and metaphysics are what stood out to me.
Mm. Is there something on there you could do without besides the intro you said? Or you wish the intro was somebody else doing it, I guess is what you said, really.
I wish,
But
I wish. How about this? Since we actually got Jizza doing a verse,
mhm.
we got Ray. We didn't even talk about the fact that there's a Nas verse on here that's pretty
Yeah.
dope. Schoolboy Q, like there's a lot of dope stuff on here.
Yeah.
I just don't know how it's gonna transcend. Like I'm still playing Broken Safety off the Purple Tape. I'm not joking. Some
Right.
days I'm man, play that Broken Safety shit. We in the hood scraping them. Jada Kiss Ray and them. Y'all lame niggas come uptown, spend the day with them. Yeah, it's just the energy is
There
different.
like, this is not something I've heard more than once, probably, like what you just quoted me, but, like, there's nothing that even that from you doing it in 2025 on a live stream, it doesn't that hits me more
Yeah,
than
yeah.
anything that I've heard on here. Not
So
that the
that's what
Ghost
I mean.
album is bad, but it doesn't
Like
hit me the same way.
Broken Safety to me is the modern day template of what Wu-Tang should do when they're getting with guest members. It's like you need to get guest members that are lyrically inclined like you, that
Mhm.
know how to get in the chamber that you know how to get in, like on some rap shit.
Right.
You know, I used to move
Being a good
Brown Records,
teammate even, maybe.
roll you a blunt and smoke you a Death Angel.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're crazy on there. They're crazy on there.
Yeah.
And so I was wanting more stuff like that on here. It is consistent though. It just feels like it gets off to a little bit of a rocky start. I'm gonna see how I feel after a couple more listens. But for the most part,
Yeah, I'm gonna check out that second half too again when I
really
listen.
dope album. So here's the thing: when you're as great as Ghost, it's like when you get halfway into an album like this, it's like okay, so this album's not better than Iron Man, it's not better than Supreme, it's
Right.
not better than Fish Scale, it's not better than Pretty Tony, it's not better than Bulletproof Wallet. So it's not a top 5 rap album from Ghost.
Hmm.
And this is where it gets kind of Nas like. It's like, oh, but after those 5 albums, it's like, well, I
It's a
don't know.
conversation now.
Well, I don't know. I'm a big fan of the Big Doe Rehab and More Fish, which is 2006,
Mhm.
2007, so part of his
Right.
prime run. I'm a big fan of Apollo Kids. That was a joint he did with Apollo Brown, the producer, that I thought
Mhm.
was really dope. 36 Seasons was dope. I think this album might have the potential to be better than those, which means if he has 13 solo rap albums
Mhm.
and this is the sixth or seventh best one, that's still top half of the catalog for a top 10 MC, which means he did his job.
Right.
Right. And
Right.
then and then this goes to the point. Don't be calling some of these guys the greatest MC of all time. Ghostface Killer has made 13 solo albums. He has 9 collaborative projects. He has 5, 6, how many Wu-Tang albums?
A bunch.
5
Several.
Wu-Tang albums? Oh, he is the co-star of what I consider to be the best beat tape and lyrical manifesto
Mhm.
and second best rap album of all time. Yeah, he's the co-author of that.
Right.
Oh, he's the co-author of the best modern day rap classic to come out of that crew, which is 2010. Because part of what makes the Purple Tape 2 so great is guess who's on there?
Yep.
Oh, he Liquid Swords is not the same without Ghostface Killer. He is the star of their second best group rap album, which is Wu Tang Forever. He did
Mhm.
arguably have the verse of the year with his verse on Impossible. He did have the verse of the year, and that's one of the greatest verses of all time. So he is decorated
Yeah,
heavily. Like he got
exactly.
championship rings and belts, and he's got all of that. He's got championship rings on the team. He's got championship rings as a
Mhm.
duo, as a solo artist, as an album maker, as a lyricist,
Mhm.
as a storyteller. He's he's got it all.
Yeah.
When you have it all, I'm gonna rate your album like you got it all. So you gonna take this for.
Are there gonna be moments, or what do you think is the moment or moments of this record that you're going to remember or talk about, like, 5 years from now? Like, is there anything that's gonna stick with you, or, like, part of the narrative about it or anything like
when
that?
when I heard the trial, I said if this is the last great Wu Tang Posse cut, I'm cool with that because it is great.
Yeah.
And so I said to myself, if this is the last great Wu Tang Posse cut, well, they put four of their top six on the record. One of the guys is dead.
Yeah.
So the only guy missing is Deck. So the only thing I complain about is the record is that like Deck ain't there, but you're telling me you got Meth, you got Jizza kicking a verse, you got Ray and Ghost doing a back and forth as a Wu Tang fanatic and
Check in.
fan. Is and people need to understand this. Oh, part of why I love hip hop so much and I'm doing this is because of how much I love Wu Tang Clan. They're part of my what I like to call hip hop equity investment. Like
Mhm.
a hip hop equity investment works like Outkast, Wu Tang has groups, Nas, Big, and Tupac as solo artists. Those are my five buy-ins.
Yeah.
So they're a part of my core like hip hop aesthetic. So if that's the last great Wu Tang posse cut we get, to quote the clips, so be it. So be
So
it.
so
Yeah.
that's actually a really good place to stop, I think, right? Like, I think it's a good place to wrap them up.
Yeah.
So, um, so yeah, that's been Mirror Music and Hip Hop Talks, the review show of our Ghostface Supreme Clientele 2. We both think it's 4-ish, give or take. We're I wrote my first note on this paper actually is this is not going to be a stand on my square review. I might hear something differently tomorrow, and when my mental palette after a week of the first full week of school teaching is a little more clear. So we'll see. But for right now, 4 for me, which is why I made the graphic that said the early review.
Part of what makes Ghost so great too is that you do have to listen to Ghost.
Yeah.
Like when Ghost makes some dope shit, sometimes you got to find out how dope it is because you got to go listen to Ghost again.
Hmm.
I do like that as a listener, and I think that that does that's more of an old school aesthetic than a new school thing. If it doesn't catch you the first time with a lot of the YNs, it's like, oh no, it's gone. Ghost ain't built like that. It's like Ghost might say something that you like, and you may be like,
Wait, hold up.
hold up. I think I need to go back and listen again to Ghost. Ghost and Ray both do that. That's what makes them so magical together. It's like an assortment of stuff you need to go back and check for. It's like, hold on, what the fuck they talking about? What they say? Like I had a conversation, and we can leave on this. I had a conversation with Mario with Six about like 3 years ago, and he was explaining some shit to me that they was talking about like on the purple tape that like I didn't even understand after all these years. I was like, what is these niggas
And
saying?
you've heard that album how many thousands of times? Like
Shit,
several. Yeah.
I've bought that album like 5 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was still breaking some shit down to me. He's like, yeah, he's like, you don't know shit.
And
He's
that's what, not
like,
to be all English teacher on you, but, like, that's what great literature does or great art does, is that you getting something new about it every time you interact with it, right? You see something and it changes as you get older too, right? You see stuff on it that you hear when you're 40 something that you didn't hear when you're 20 something, right?
so
That's
my best conversation is always with Six because, like, well, he's not only my cousin, you know what I'm saying, but he's a producer. So it's like I'm
right.
talking to my
So he's
best friend.
listening to different stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or what he
it's
hears is
rap.
different.
It's he's my cousin, but he's more like my brother, and he's the person that taught me literally how to write bars. So it's the rapper talking to the producer about the
Yeah.
music when me and him talk. You know what I'm saying? It's the
Yeah.
rapper
That's
talking
the
to
shit.
the producer. It's like, how about this? Me and him was listening to What They Do by the Roots one day, And I was like, I bet you love the way this beat just right at the end after Black Thought start rapping, don't you? I was like, I hate this shit, motherfucker. I was like, cut this shit off. It's like Black Thought's done rapping. I'm like, cut the beat off.
Yeah.
And he's just looking at me. He's like, you don't know shit. This is when we were kids. He's like, you don't know shit. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, cut the fucking beat off. Black Thought's done rapping, nigga. Like, but
Yeah.
that's the 16-year-old talking to the 20-year-old when Philadelphia Half-Life's coming out. You
Right.
know, like, man, if you
Exactly.
don't cut this fucking beat off, I'm like, this beat is riding for like 2 minutes. It's like he could have had a whole nother. I was like, we could have did a whole nother song. I was like, I'm a rap.
Yeah. And get in there too. Yes, Boulder, I'm still listening to the JID album. That's in the comments. And I still think it's really good.
I'm still listening to G's is a song of the year contender.
Yeah, G's belongs in that conversation. This is actually a conversation we had behind the scenes, is that I think I haven't heard a hook from a song better than that one this year.
No, G's is the hook of the year. I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. G's is the hook of the year. G's and Skate I'm playing still like the most stuff on the album. I'm still playing it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm still playing Freddie. I'm still playing some joints from the clips.
Yeah, me too. Those are the three for me.
Yeah,
like of the major label releases anyway. So
I don't even know what you call it anymore.
Yeah,
the
ones that have more publicity. They're not like independently released independent artists, whatever. But love a lot of those too. But that's a different conversation for a different day.
All right.
So, we out, guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for allowing me to participate in this conversation. So hopefully you enjoyed the two different perspectives, what we got going on. Esquire is saying, check out Chance the Rapper's last one too. Actually, I've listened to some of that. Actually, it is pretty good. We'll talk about that perhaps some other time.
Chance actually did a meet and greet down here yesterday that I got invited to. I just didn't get off work in time because by the time
this is Backpack Rap Week. There's an Earl Sweatshirt album. There's a Chance the Rapper album. There's a Lupe like EP. Like there's a bunch of them. I've not dug into any of them, but those are things that exist.
Okay, so like Backpack is like these guys.
Am I using the wrong word?
I don't think Backpack exists anymore. These guys are just independent. Independent is just the word now.
Okay, whatever. You guys got to correct my nomenclature, my words. But I'm looking forward to being able to listen to that. I did like the Chance one though. I thought it was pretty good, but I've not listened to it closely enough to give a review of that, and that's not what we're here to do. And it's past my bedtime, so we'll see y'all next time. Hopefully next Friday for I don't know what yet, but
we got a bunch of albums in the queue.
Yeah,
we just gave Ghost priority. We actually bumped Ghost up in the line. We got like 5 things behind. We actually like 5 behind.
Yeah, I have notes for at least 2 or 3 others right now.
Yeah, there's Ghost, so we're gonna get to all of it. We got a Tyler, we got a Chance, we got a whole bunch of stuff. So
yeah, we'll probably see you next week then. So I kind of like this spot, like this time, this spot. We'll talk about more after the scene, and we'll see y'all later. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, spot where I made my bones, man.
All right, guys. Peace.